combat designer on God of War 3. I work with 5 other combat designers on bringing all the characters in the game to life. So anything that has to do with Kratos and the bosses and enemies and story-based characters, we work closely with the animation team to bring all of them into the game and bring their personality and make sure that the game's a lot of fun.
And I'm Chris O'Neill. I'm a senior level designer on God of War 3. And my job is to design the levels for God of War, for some of the levels at least. And basically to create engaging environments and interactions to tell the story of the player as they play through the game. So I design puzzles, and I design the level layouts, I design the several of the navigational sections and the action sequences. And the big thing we did for God of War 3 was the Kronos battle. So one of the big Titan fights halfway through the game. So that's what I've done.
Great. What do you think was the main focus while developing God of War 3 for you personally? So what was the motivation to make a third part besides making an end to the trilogy? What was the main motivation?
Well, I think personally for me it was to try to bring something new to the game, try to bring something that felt that hadn't been done before. And I think that for me that was trying to come up with puzzles that were a bit beyond what had been done in God of War 2, and trying to make them feel different but familiar enough to the players that appreciate the puzzles, creating memorable moments for the game and something that people will think back on God of War. What are the things they remembered? And certainly those are the things that I've tried to keep dear to me when I'm creating the game. But the Kronos fight, I think, for me was the big thing that I worked on, that I feel the most proud of in the game. And, definitely took a lot of time, a couple of years to put together, to combine. I spent personally about 13 months working on that, and another designer worked on the early version of it and the technology putting that together.
Moving on to God of War 3, I think it was really just a matter of how do we continue to evolve the franchise, and how do we bring the sense of scale to be fully realized, and as well as Kratos' brutality and his character and continuing his story. And there are so many things that we wanted to bring into here, and I think we succeeded in a lot of ways. I think we have some of the largest interactable characters in a video game, and they look beautiful, as well as the details of Kratos' character, his muscles flexing and blood landing on him, and the level of detail in his animations, and really have brought across his character and just give you a whole new sense of who he is and why he's so mad. I think our new directions for our mini games were just really exciting to get a new perspective on the way that these sequences work and what happens in them. I just don't want to spoil too much, but just had a lot of fun working with the animators on those. There are just so many things that I think we wanted to continue, and God of War 1 and 2 were our standards that we needed to live up to, and they're extremely well-made games. So I think we've definitely evolved into the next gen.
Yeah, it's the first part of the series for the PS3. So I think one of the main challenges has been to get the most out of the new hardware. What were other challenges you faced?
Well, I think the design challenges on trying to keep the game feeling fresh. If we made, everybody would say, oh, this has got to work HD. Like if we literally made that game, it's not going to be fun to us or the fans. So it's a matter of evolving the design of the game, the way that the weapons work in the game, the way the items work, the enemies, the boss battles, to take everything that we've had from the past and take the best parts of those and improve on that and add new variation. It was definitely a big challenge for us.
Absolutely.
And one of the main facets of the whole game is the brutality, I think, of Kratos, and it's also essential to the game, I think. What do you think about the problem of especially the German market with this brutality? I think it would spoil the whole game if there would be green blood or something like that. But I think it wouldn't be God of War 3 if it's not that brutal.
Mm-hmm. I certainly agree, and I think we definitely are excited to know that the game as it is for the German market, and then it will exist in its full intended form. And I think that just speaks to the hard work of everyone involved in Germany for PlayStation, as well as people within our studio to create a compelling version of the game that could be approved for all markets. And honestly, as far as the balance is concerned, I think that it is important that it stays in the game, and I think that it does tell a story, and it does say a lot about the Kratos character and about what the universe is about, and that it's a hostile world, and that really anything that comes in front of Kratos' goal of getting what he wants is going to be will be destroyed, and that that really I think is important to the character development, as well as the leaving an impression on the player by these kind of glorified violent moments. I think that when you want someone to remember your game, there's certain things you can do, and one of those is violent moments for people to remember this. But there are other things that we can do as far as interesting puzzles and cool, memorable sequences that aren't necessarily violent as well.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think that we're very careful with the violence that we put in the game. We don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable or just the game feeling is wrong. It's a fantasy-based violence, and it's so over the top and cinematic that it brings smiles to people's faces. So it's something that we're always conscious of. We make sure that we don't cross those lines, and it's obvious when you do cross those lines.